Hi guys, it's Chelsea, aka Smart as MUA, and today I'm going to go back into another personal experience, another really deep thing. So today I'm going to talk about my experience with depression and anxiety. Again, this is my personal experience. This is how I went through things, and I'm not saying that this is what everyone else experiences. Everyone else's experience with depression, anxiety, and any mental health is very different. It very varies. Is a big difference between everyone. Some people are very similar, some people aren't. And I'm just going to say now, like I said, this is my personal experience. This is what I went through. This is how I got diagnosed, and so on. I am also going to throw a trigger warning up there just in case for anything that I do say, because I will be talking about some very serious issues. So I'm just going to say that now there will be a trigger warning throughout the entire video. So I apologize now. So if any of these things trigger you to do with depression, anxiety, I would say skip this video and just carry on with your day. So I'm gonna go for like a natural look today because I think that'd be easiest while I'm talking about such a serious subject. Um, so as far as I can remember, I've always really struggled with anxiety. Like I said in my previous video, I've dealt with scleroderma a lot, which I had to go to the hospital maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week sometimes, and I was very anxiety induced having to be at the hospital a lot. Not knowing what was going to happen, kind of thing. So it was like your standard anxiety with those kind of situations. But then I'd say, in my teenage years, when I ended up going to high school, I ended up then suffering with bad anxiety. It just got worse. I'd get major anxiety going, just about to go to school. So I'd end up having like a big panic attack just before I went to school. This happened every day before I went to school. And then I also started suffering with depression as well. So I had both of those things and I had the scleroderma on top. So I was dealing with a lot of things, unfortunately, and it was a struggle. So, like I said, I've always dealt with anxiety. It's always been part of my life. It still is. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still there. I still get these little anxiety attacks sometimes, just randomly out of nowhere. Um, yeah, so it's an unfortunate thing. So when I first got diagnosed with the scleroderma, I didn't really have any depression signs or anything like that. I was pretty fine. Um, so I'd say maybe around 2012, 2013 is when the depression really came. Um, Me and my family were arguing over whatever it was. It was kind of like I was going through those teenage times, um, but I was making everything worse. So I'd randomly start arguments with just anyone in my family, which wasn't right of me to do. I'd create havoc. I wasn't great to be around when I was a teenager. I wasn't, I just really wasn't a great person to be around when I was a teenager, full stop. And my depression took like a massive hit, on like family relationships and stuff. So I'd say like 2013, I ended up getting like really bad depression. I ended up hurting myself, unfortunately, um, which wasn't great. And this time I felt like I could get away with it because I weren't going to the hospital at this time. They weren't like checking my body or anything. So I do it in places where you couldn't see it. Um, I do it in places where you couldn't see where I like decided to hurt myself. And I like I said, I thought I could get away with it because I weren't going to the hospital. They weren't checking like me over or anything like that for anything, so I was fine. Um, so I ended up like telling someone who I thought was like a close friend. I told them and said that I'm experiencing some bad things and I've ended up like hurting myself. That person then decided to tell other people, and the whole school ended up finding out. I I was literally called out in front of the entire school, over it. The school found out, told my family, which then caused more issues, which was very unfortunate. Um, like as if I didn't cause any more, already cause any issues, and then I ended up making things worse, getting things worse, which again wasn't great. Kind of like something I really shouldn't have done, but unfortunately I did. Um, so as I said, like, so I ended up hurting myself. The whole school found out, my family found out, and it kind of just spiraled from there. So I still ended up hurting myself, unfortunately, even though I'd like said that I hadn't. Um, and it wasn't great at all. My anxiety got worse. My depression just got worse. I really, really spiraled. I ended up going to see therapy a few times. Altogether, throughout my entire life, I've probably seen 8 or 9 different therapists, and it was literally I just sit there and talk. I didn't really get much help from it. I'd be okay for like a month or two afterwards, but then I'd just spiral again, which was very unfortunate because it was something I really wanted to kick. I really wanted to get rid of it. I really wanted to beat it and be like, I am better than this depression. I am better than this anxiety. But unfortunately, it just didn't work. So I went to a little therapist center called CAMS. I'm sure a lot of people are aware of it. I will say they are pretty useless. For myself personally, I didn't get great help at all. Yeah, it just wasn't great. And during that time, I ended up doing various sessions. I did sessions with family members, I did sessions by myself, and it helped, like I say, for maybe a month or two afterwards. But then after that, yeah, I started spiraling again. Various things were happening, like in my life, in my family life. That wasn't great. Um, so my depression just got worse and worse, I think. Um, it did come to a point in my life that there was maybe 1 or 2 times where I did try to um, get rid of myself. I didn't want to be around anymore. I didn't want to cause my family any pain, um, which was it really wasn't the right thing to do. Um, yeah, so again, I ended up getting re-diagnosed with the scleroderma, and they started doing these body checks. And that's how I really stopped self-harming because I was getting checked over. So I didn't want them to see that I was hurting myself because it would have caused more issues than needed, especially after I'd said that I'd stopped. Um, so yeah, so I started getting rechecked over. My depression was still there though. And I don't really remember how I dealt with it that well. After I'd stopped hurting myself. I remember being put on like various different types of medication. I got put on different antidepressants. One of them I did get put on a few years ago was Sertraline, I think it is, and it didn't really do anything. It just made me feel numb. I felt numb quite a lot of the time. So I hardly had any emotions. I didn't feel like I could relate to a lot of people during that time either. So if someone was having any like emotional issues, they needed advice, I couldn't give it to them because I didn't feel like I could. I couldn't express my emotions either. I was just constantly numb. So that wasn't great either. That kind of ruined some friendships and stuff. And then I ended up going off the sertraline because I was like, well, I can't deal with this. I would rather feel depressed all the time rather than feeling nothing at all. Um, so I ended up coming off the medication. And again, somehow I dealt with it. Somehow, I think I just ended up like sleeping a lot of the time. Um, I ended up not caring that much about like my basic like needs, basic hygiene and stuff. I would like indulge a lot of the time, so I would eat a lot. Food has always been that kind of comfort thing. It's always been one thing that I've always looked toward, looked forward to. It's always something that I could really just like look for all the time. So food was a big help, I think, for me. Again, it's not the same for everyone. Not everyone can um, handle, not handle, handle's the wrong word, not deal with things the same way. But food was always like a big help for me. And again, I did put on loads of weight because of it, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, so things have been pretty difficult. I would say in the past year, my mood has really started to improve. Um, and it's like it's kind of a funny like situation to me. Because when I was like when I was like 15, when I was like really kind of going through it, I never thought I would like make it to my 18th birthday. And that's something I've always kind of like kept to myself. I really didn't think I was gonna keep on going because of everything that I was kind of dealing with mentally, physically. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it until my 18th birthday. No way. I can't deal with this. But I did. I made it to my 18th birthday. I made it through college and now I'm in university. So, regardless of the amount of stuff that I have gone through and all the issues that I have faced, I've gotten through it. And I think that's one of the biggest and most important things that I can like say to someone that is struggling right now is that yes, it's hard. It's extremely hard, but it really does get better. And I know in that moment you honestly can't tell. In that moment when you're in your worst state, you're not caring about yourself. You're literally sat in a rut all the time. All you do is sleep. All you do is hide away from everything. You're locked away in your room. You just don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want to speak with anyone. It really does get better. And I think if you surround yourself by these positive influences, like these positive like energy vibes, anything like that, I think it's very helpful. um I think for me what helped me get out is that I found one thing that would help me like kind of like escape how I was feeling. And I think that's an important thing to do is when you're feeling this way is find something that helps you in that a good thing that helps you escape um how you're feeling at that time. So that could literally be anything. For me, I think it was like art and reading. I was able to read and I was able to like kind of transport into this completely different place. And I think it's very useful. Because when you're going through such like awful times and your head is in a scramble, like your head's saying one thing, but then it's saying another thing. And it can get very, very, very confusing and very hard. And I do think finding that one thing that you can put what little energy you have into, I think that will help you take your mind away from things. Um, but again, this is just my personal experience. This is what I went through. This is how I dealt with things. Um, but yeah, so it wasn't a very great time through any kind of like educational system I went through. Um, but like I said, in the past year or so is when I've started to get a lot better. Um, my anxiety isn't as high all the time. I rarely get it now. There is random times that I will experience a like kind of an anxiety attack. Yesterday I had like a mild one. I'm not really sure why, not really sure what brought it on. But I had like a mini like anxiety attack yesterday, which is unfortunate because I've not had one in a very long time. Um, and I was about I think about 7 years free in like not harming myself up until last year. Unfortunately, we lost the family dog and it sent me into a massive spiral. So it made me go I was really depressed again. I wouldn't go to any of my uni lectures for about a month, maybe a month or two, which was very unfortunate 'cause when you're paying a crazy amount of money for education, you really want to take as much as time as you can of it. So I ended up really not going to uni a lot because of it. I really spiraled. Um, for about a week, I did hurt myself, and I knew it was wrong. Every time I did it, I knew it was wrong. So in that moment, I'd do it. I'd like whatever happened, and then I straight after 10 minutes after 30 minutes after I'd be like, oh my god, what have I just done? I've just ruined everything. And I think that was the wrong mindset to be in. From personal experience, from having gone 7, 6 years without hurting myself, and then last year doing it. Now I realize that it's not a bad thing if you like take a setback. If you end up doing something that you've not done in a very long time, I think I think you need to think about why it happened, how it happened, and then what you can do to prevent it in the future. So I used to draw on myself. Um, it was like, say, what, 2 a.m. when I wasn't able to sleep all. I'd just sit at my desk, and I'd just be drawing all over my legs, to try and take my mind off whatever I was feeling in that moment. And there were times that that did help, and there's other times where unfortunately it didn't. It literally just varies, which is unfortunate. Um, but like I say, it's literally what you can find that helps you. I've kind of gone on a tangent again, like usual. So like I say, I ended up harming myself last year, and now I look back at it, I'm thinking that this time I'm gonna. It's hard to put it into words. Um, so it's like, so now I've gone like a year without hurting myself. And like my goal is to continue going to see how far I can go. And there is some people out there that have gone a few months without it, and then they've harmed themselves. Say they've gone 3 months and then they've harmed themselves. Um, and then they think this is such a massive setback. I've gone 3 months without hurting myself, and now I feel like I failed. I've wasted all that time. I think that's a bad place to be. I understand that it's hard to not think that way, but just think that next time you're going to try and beat it to 4 months, and then after that, 5 months, and then that's how I kind of started doing it. So I try and beat a month each time, and then I eventually got into it that much that I stopped hurting myself. Um, and I think that's a kind of an important thing to think about. Like I say, personally, this is what helped me. It may not help everyone. It really does vary on how how stuff affects you, what affects you, that kind of thing. Um, but like I say, now I'm very well. I'm great. My anxiety, depression, especially, isn't that bad. At the beginning of the year again, my depression did get a little bad. There were some issues that I was dealing with, um, and it did get bad again. But here I am in August, perfectly fine. Everything's going well for me. I'm I'm moving out next month, so I'm ready to start a new chapter with everything. I'm ready to start new things, do new things. Um, and like I keep saying, that it really, really does get better. But yeah, I think it's very important to think that it does get better. And I think reaching out to people does help as well. Um, I know like everyone does face their own issues, but for me personally, it was a big help kind of helping others. Even though there was really no one there to help me, I still found it helpful for me to try and help others because then it kind of made me forget about what I was dealing with, what I was going through, that kind of thing. Which is it can help some people. Again, like I keep saying, this is from my personal experience. This is what I've gone through. This is what I've faced. No way is everyone's mental health the same. And it's not just, this is one thing I do want to really get out there, is that it's not just women that face these huge struggles. A lot of the time when we mention mental health, a lot of the time people think of women. Um, because women are so accepted sometimes when it comes to mental health. In regards to men, they aren't very well accepted, I think. It's kind of like, as a guy, you have to be strong. You have to not show any kind of weakness. And honestly, I think that's just rubbish. I think that's just disgusting. The fact that you're not letting someone express their feelings. Um, and now there's more people coming out as like non-binary and stuff like that, um or like gender fluid, anything that isn't set in these two terms. And they are often kind of like overlooked as well, which is very unfortunate, because anyone everyone can experience some kind of mental health issues at any point in their life. You may not get anything, you may not experience anything up until later on in your life. It really, really just depends on like how your body is, I think. But I do think talking to people, getting like your feelings out there is very useful, even if it's not like to even if it's not to like to a friend, even if you find like a place online that you can do it. There is quite a few like uh social media websites out there that you can talk to people. There is a lot of people that do go through the same thing, that do understand what you're going through. And I think it is important to get it out there, to talk to people, just to get it out there, just so people can help you and so you don't feel alone all the time. Um, but I do think we need to. This eye is going really wrong. But I do think we need to accept more people in how they're feeling, in their mental health and everything like that. Because unfortunately, like I said, not everyone gets accepted when it comes to mental health issues. They're often looked over upon, and things like that. Which again, that's like I keep saying, it's very unfortunate. People should be validated. People should be taken seriously in these situations, because you never know when someone may have just had so much of everything that they do end up um, leaving, leaving us and everything like that, which is very unfortunate. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of like my little brief um, time with like anxiety and depression. I do want to use this platform to talk about very important issues, very serious issues, because I think it's important to get these things out, to get the word out about serious things. There is a lot of serious issues that are happening everywhere at the moment that really do need to be addressed, that really do need to have the attention to. And I think because like the makeup industry, the makeup platform is so big, I think that using the little platform that I have will be able to get it out there, will be able to get people to understand things more, will be able to, it'll reach more people. So while I'm doing like my makeup, um I'm able to, as best as I can, educate people, um, make people understand that there's like serious issues happening in the world, and that we need to be aware of everything that is happening. Um, and I think, like I say, the little platform that I do have, I think I need to use that to the best of my ability, and get it out there. Let people know that there is issues. So if anyone has any issue that they want me to speak about, it literally could be anything. I'm very happy and I'm very open to speak about a lot of things. I'm interested in learning a lot of things as well. One thing that I do really like to say is that if I have something wrong, if I've done something wrong, please educate me, do not belittle me. That's something that I really like to express, is that if I've said a wrong term, if I've said something that's not true, if I've given any wrong piece of information, please educate me, do not belittle me. And I think that's a big issue, is that when people have said something wrong, some people will just go majorly defensive, and instead of educating the person, they will belittle them sometimes, which is very unfortunate. And in myself, I do want to learn more. I do want to know more things. It's something that I'm very interested in, is expanding my knowledge in anything, um, anything at all. I want to learn more about, and I want to share that knowledge with other people as well. I want other people to understand um, just anything. It could literally be anything at all. I want people to be um, more like up to date and more dated with things that are happening around us, just anywhere and everywhere. And I think it's very important that we address certain issues. That's why I want anyone that has an issue that they want me to address to speak out about it, to say anything, to talk about it. I'm happy, like I say, I'm happy to talk about anything. Happy to address any issue that I feel comfortable addressing. Anyone that has anything that they want me to speak about, drop it in the comments below, and I will try and speak about it as best as I can to my ability. I will educate myself as best as I can towards the topic. There will be some things like this that I'm able to speak from personal experience, but again, my personal experience is different to everyone else's experience. That's one thing that I have to really like speak about, is that my personal experience with depression and anxiety is completely different to other people. There is quite a few people that I have in my friendship circle that do struggle with these issues, but their issues, their mental health is a lot different to mine. We do struggle in many different ways. And that's what I want to definitely keep saying during this entire video, is that my experience is very different to everyone else's. But yeah, if there's any topic that anyone would like me to address, anyone that would like me to speak about, please let me know, and I'll be happy to educate myself as best as I can. I think, like I say, with the little platform that I have, it is important to talk about serious issues, talk about these serious topics, and get the knowledge out there. Regardless of what it may be, there's a lot of serious things that do need addressing, and I think a lot of people shine away from it, unfortunately, when there is things that really do need to be addressed. But yeah, so I always seem to run over like a really long time when I'm talking about my issues and stuff like that. Which isn't, it's not, I ramble a lot, which is very unfortunate. And I do say that every time I do one of these videos, even though this is just my second time, I do get a lot of anxiety before I do a video. Yeah, so it's a bit of a struggle, I think, sometimes when I do these videos, because I don't know how people are going to receive it. I don't know how people are going to interpret it. I don't know if it's going to offend anyone. I don't know if it's going to upset anyone. And that's really not what I want to do. I don't want to upset or offend anyone with any of my videos. That's why so far I've only talked about my personal experiences, because everyone's experience is completely different. And that's what I have to just keep pushing in, is that everyone's experience is completely different, and we really need to remember that kind of thing, I think. So if we're talking about depression, if we're talking about anxiety, don't say to someone, well, that's not right, that's not how you should be feeling. If someone's feeling a certain way, don't try to victimize them, don't try to turn it onto them, so it's like, oh, you're the reason you're feeling this way, kind of thing, which is unfortunate. I've had that happen to me a few times. There's been unfortunately a few people that have said that to me, that the reason why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling is because I've kind of caused it myself, which isn't great because then it makes you kind of spiral again. So I do say that when someone's talking about any mental health issues, just be aware of their feelings, their emotions, that kind of thing. Don't say anything that could offend anyone. That's one big thing that I want to talk about, is that like I say during my videos, I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want to offend anyone. I want to be, I kind of, I want to educate people, whether that be people just come here to be educated by makeup, how to do makeup, watch makeup videos, or to just be educated fully, about any topic. It's something that I really want to express, that I don't want to offend anyone. I want to educate people. And that's, like I said before, why I'm talking about these personal experiences, because I don't want someone to be like, oh no, that's not how it is. That's not what happens, kind of thing. So I do want to address big issues. I do want to talk more about these bigger issues. I do want to get more things out there. I do want to express more. But like I said, this is why I'm doing some personal experiences at the moment, because I want people to get to know me first. I think this is a very important thing. I want people to get to know me. I want people to feel like that, yes, they can come to me to talk to me about anything. They can ask me any questions that they want to. They can do it, like really ask me anything. I'm very much an open book with a lot of things as well. That's one thing I will say. I don't really shine away from saying a lot of things about myself. I think it is very important to be open sometimes, and especially if you're wanting to gain um, an audience and educate them, then I think it is important to get it out there and get it known that you do want to talk to people, you do want to educate them as best as you can. Again, I'm just going to go off camera now to put my lashes on, because again, it's very hard to do on camera. So I've got my lashes on, and I just want to say that my other lashes have broken. So I've got like these really like big ones on that I only typically tend to do if I do like a drag look. So I'm just going to say that now. But yeah, like I was saying, I want to talk about serious things. But if you do want me to kind of just shut up and like go through a makeup look, I'm happy to do that as well. I do want to I want to like please my audience, kind of thing. I want people to like be able to like request things and feel comfortable requesting these things, and knowing that I will do what I can. Um but yeah, I think that's really it for this week's video. I will try and upload more, but as I've said, I am moving very soon, so I'm in the middle of like packing a lot of my stuff up. So I'm a little bit busy at the moment, but I will try and upload more often. I'm thinking maybe twice a week would be a great amount of uploading. But if anyone, like I say, has any things that they want me to talk about, anything that they want to see on my channel, anything that they want me to do, it would be great. I'm, like I keep saying, I'm very open to a lot of things. But yeah, please like drop a comment below, please like, share with people. I very much appreciate it. I do, like I say, I do want to get knowledge out there, so the more people that I reach, the more people that I'm able to educate, and vice versa, the more that people are able to educate me as well. Either way, I think education is something that we will experience for the rest of our lives, so I think it's important to keep educating ourselves. But yeah, I think this is really it for this video. Again, I apologize for rambling on like usual. I think my brain goes like 100 miles a minute, so I end up like forgetting what I actually want to talk about. So I think I need to write things down before I do anything. Um, One thing I will say is that all my products that I use, a lot of my products that I use, uh, are vegan friendly, cruelty free. Um, it's something I'm very big on. Also, skincare is something that I'm very big on. Makeup can cover a lot of things up, but it can't cover up texture. So if you have a lot of um, like a lot of like acne at the moment, if you have like a lot of spots of everything, putting makeup over the top of it can just aggravate it even more. And the makeup will just won't look right on it. You'll be able, it can come out even more. Can the acne, the texture of it. So I think that's one important thing to remember as well is that makeup can cover a lot of things. Makeup can do a lot of things, but it can't cover texture. So this, like I say, this is it for this video. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, please subscribe, like, and share. Comment anything as well. If there's anything you want to see, anything you want to know, please drop a comment below. Please let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you want to learn from everything. I'm happy to talk about most subjects, pretty much every subject. I do want to educate people. I do want to talk about important issues. And getting these things out there I think is important. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's all for now. Thank you.